Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Deanna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking to you guys about relationship stuff. Love can be defined as an intense feeling of deep affection or a great interest and pleasure in something. So I just want to talk to you guys very quickly about how to keep a relationship. And if you know anything about me or my relationship with Ricky, you know that I'm an expert on the matter. I know it's super cliche because everyone always talks about it, but like the number one thing that you need to do in a relationship is communicate. Everything needs to be communicated. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, good, bad, happy, sad, whatever it may be, you need to communicate with your partner. You can't just assume that they know how you're feeling. You can't just hope that they interpret your actions so that they understand what it is that you have got going on inside. You need to communicate. You need to communicate your frustrations. You need to communicate the things that you appreciate. You need to talk about work. You need to talk about friends. You need to, pardon the interruption, Mia just got home. Back to my relationship advice. You need to build trust with your partner. You need to be honest. If one of you breaks the trust within your relationship, it's gonna be super hard to get it back, and it's gonna take a long time to build it back up to what it used to be. You have to be faithful in every sense of the word. A good rule of thumb for me, which might not work in every relationship, but for me personally, is if there's anything that I would do and I thought to myself, if Ricky did this, would I be upset? And the answer is yes, then I don't even bother. You have to be there for one another. Ups, downs, highs, lows, like no matter what it is, like you guys need to be each other's support system. That's super important in being in a relationship. If your person's having a high day, celebrate them. You know, go out with them. Give them the accolades that they deserve. If your partner's having a bad day, be there for them, console them. Let them know that everything's gonna be okay. Leave the past in the past. I can't stress this enough. In order for you and your partner to move forward and have a healthy, amazing, beautiful, flourishing, thriving relationship, you have to leave the past in the past. If you or your partner continues to live in the past, you're not gonna get anywhere. Nothing's gonna get better if you continue to live in the past. You can't move forward with that person if you're living in the past. Understand that having arguments, disagreements, quarrels are normal. I wouldn't say you should be having shouting matches with one another, but I mean, you don't always have to agree with your significant other. You don't always have to be on the same page. It's very normal for you guys not to be on the same page. What matters is that you communicate and that you make sure that you're receptive to what one another is saying. It's important for you guys to open your minds and take what that other person is telling you, even if it doesn't exactly match to what you're feeling or saying. Don't expect change. If you're getting into a relationship with someone assuming that they're gonna change or hoping that they're gonna change, just know it's not gonna happen. You should never enter a relationship hoping that someone is gonna change. Whether it's good, bad, whatever, just people are the way that they are. Nothing that you can do or say is going to get that person to change. If they do happen to change, it has to come from themselves, from within. It has to come from within you. Your partner cannot get you to change. They can encourage you, but the change has to come from within. So no amount of hoping, no amount of, you know, encouraging talks is gonna help that person change. Appreciate the flaws in one another. You know, it's super hard to appreciate the flaws when you've been in a relationship for so long. I've been with Ricky for 10 years and there are so many little things about him that bug me so much. And when you've been with someone for so long, it's so easy for you to just pick at them and call out all the bad things they're doing. But you know, there are little things, little quirks that he does that I do appreciate, that I do love about him, that make him who he is. So look for those in your partner. Look for the flaws that you can appreciate, the flaws that make your partner who they are. It's important for you and your partner to be best friends in every sense of the word. You guys should be able to go out and do things together and have a great time. You should be able to have judgment-free conversations about any topic at any time. You guys should truly be best friends. The most important thing above anything else is to love each other unconditionally. Period. Nothing extra. Just love each other with no conditions. That's what unconditionally means. No conditions. It isn't, I love you if you decide to change, or I love you with your haircut a certain way. You know, like, that stuff is silly, it's stupid, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you love each other unconditionally, and when times are hard, that you remember why you love that person or why you chose to initiate a relationship with that person to begin with. Now, the real reason why I decided to film this video is because people tend to come to me with requests for advice within their relationships. And without naming any names, I'm gonna tell you guys the advice that I give them because it's important. And for me, I feel like it's common sense, but when you're going through it yourself, it may be hard for you to have that common sense. It may be hard for you to realize what it is that you're immediately involved in. If you are in a relationship with someone and you find yourself having feelings for someone else, if you find yourself questioning your feelings for a different person other than the person you're in a relationship with, someone needs to get cut off. Period. Either you need to break up with your significant other, or you need to cut off all ties with this person that you may think you're having feelings for. When you're in a relationship with someone, you're making a commitment to that person to be with them, to love them, to honor them, to cherish them. And if you're starting to experience feelings or emotions for another person, it isn't fair to the person that you're in a relationship with for you to explore those feelings. You need to be able to tell that person that you're with that you're feeling a certain type of way for a different person. And trust me, it's better to be honest in the beginning, up front, than see how things play out and hurt that person even worse in the long run. Be honest about your feelings. And if you're certain that you love the person that you're in a relationship with so much that you cannot hurt them, then you need to cut ties with a third person. If that third person is a friend of yours, someone you met at the bar, someone that you work with, someone that you see in passing all the time, take a different route home. Stop going to that bar. Stop being friends with that person. The point is that you can't be in a relationship with someone and try to explore your feelings for a different person. If you are the person in the relationship where their significant other may be interested in someone else, let that person go. Don't force them to be in a relationship with you if they're not fully sure on how they feel about you. It's not gonna do you any good to force someone into a relationship with you if they aren't sure if they have feelings for someone else. All that's gonna lead to is insecurities on your part. It's gonna lead to possibly the end of your relationship anyway. You know, it's just that trust at that point, I feel like, is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be able to just cut that relationship off. Value yourself above anything else. Like, you are more important than the relationship that you're in. So if you don't feel loved, appreciated, you need to cut the relationship and let that person you're with figure out what it is that they want to do. And for the third person in the triangle, if you have been talking to someone who's in a relationship with someone else, cut it off. Because if that person were genuinely into you and started to have feelings for you, they should be honest enough to go to their significant other and say, hey, things are changing here and I want to explore this other path. Now, I know all of this is a lot easier said than done, but you guys, I cannot stress enough how much honesty is the best policy. Lying will always catch up to you in the end. And if I can tell you guys something that I'm super passionate about, is the fact that withholding information from someone, to me, in my opinion, is considered lying. So be honest to everyone involved in your relationships and let them know how it is that you're truly feeling. And for all three of these people, the the person who's unsure, the person who's just the victim, the third person, however you want to like classify or label these people. All three of you are important individual people who should value yourselves among everything else, and be honest. Just be honest. For my single homies out there, it's okay to be single. There's nothing wrong with being single. Nothing at all whatsoever. If it's a relationship you're craving, then make new friends. There's nothing wrong with being single. Jesus, our Lord and Savior, single. Single. You know, not to get all religious on you guys, but in the Bible it says some of you guys are single and need to stay single. Some of you don't need to get married. Or I guess in this case, get in a relationship. But I mean, you know, some people I truly feel aren't meant to be in a relationship with another person. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If you're dating someone with a significant age difference than you, expect there to be a significant maturity difference than you. Whether that person's 10 years older, 10 years younger, or somewhere in between. Expect that you guys won't be on the same page all the time. Just think of yourself and where you were personally in a mental and maturity state of being 5 years ago. If you're dating someone who's 5 years younger than you, it's highly possible that they are in that level of maturity. It's important for us to note that, like, if there's an age difference between you and the person that you're dating, expect that you guys will be on different levels, whether it's relationship goals, you know, what you guys want to do when you hang out and things like that. Like, expect things to be different. Don't be surprised by that. Now, this last little section, or this last little piece of advice that I'm going to bring up, if you talk to someone about your relationship and you're complaining about the relationship you're in, not that it's welcome, but expect that person to give you advice. Expect that person to comment on your relationship. And it might be in a manner that you weren't expecting, or in a tone that you weren't expecting. If you need advice from someone regarding your relationship, make sure that you're seeking advice from someone you trust, someone you love, someone who loves you back. And know that you might not like what that person has to say, but that person may be coming from the best possible place. And on the flip side, if someone is talking to you about their relationship, please do not give advice unless it's warranted. If that person is asking you for advice, then feel free. Go easy on them. But if you have a friend that's merely venting to you about their circumstance, then be a good friend and listen. And don't give advice unless they ask for it. You could be doing a lot of damage, not only to their relationship, but your relationship with the person that's not seeking advice. Again, I don't know. I guess the big moral of the story here is that honesty is the best policy. Have an open mind, have an open heart, and know that you matter and that you mean something in this world, and that your own self-value and self-worth is much higher than any relationship that you could ever be in. And on that note, I'm tapping out, y'all. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.